Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan Christopher from Montreal UBF, and this is a Sendai Japan mission report. First, what drove us to pick Japan for our first mission trip was our favorite hobby. We were very excited to get the chance to visit the country that creates anime, and we were interested in learning Japanese. I think God used these interests of ours to send us to Japan. However, we did not really know much about Japanese culture beforehand, but thankfully God provided us with people to prepare us for our trip. For example, Brother Alex from Ottawa UBF had personal experience teaching English to Japanese students for 2 years, as well as Hina and Valeria, who are Japanese, and they helped us understand the customs and the traditions of Japanese people. The first few weeks in Japan were the hardest because we really needed time to adjust to different factors. Among these difficulties were campus mission, communication, Japanese culture, and some other minor things. First, campus fishing was a new thing for us, so we were struggling a little at the start. We didn't know how to approach people, how to act, what to say, and how to say it. Thankfully, missionary Pauline was always with us, so she was leading the way for us. Communication was also a big problem, because the family we were staying with could not really understand or speak English. So there was a lot of awkward communication at the start. Another trial was the difference in culture. Japanese people are more rigid and not very open to people. They seem to have more difficulty than Montrealers to show their real persona and are hiding their true selves with politeness. We had a lot of discussions about these differences in culture with missionary Paul, because in Canada people are encouraged to be themselves, whereas in Japan it seems like people are encouraged to be the same. But even he still has trouble really understanding Japanese people sometimes.
We went fishing every day and we would get students, but most of them would only come once. Or they would contact us about being interested, but when we would ask the time and date, they wouldn't reply. Japanese people are very self-conscious about their English speaking. They are afraid of being judged and of failing. Success is a very important thing to them. Also, we noticed that foreign students in the college would only be hanging around other foreigners. We never saw Japanese people hanging around foreigners. So we think that another reason why they wouldn't contact us back was because they are afraid of other foreigners. However, we managed to get 2 regular students. We think that our tactics were lacking in interest in the beginning. Also, we acted more as friends to them than as teachers. So we learned that the best approach would be to become friends with them instead of teachers.
Japan is a very clean and quiet place, so we got to experience a different kind of environment than what we were used to in Montreal. Also, the food was very good, so there were no problems there. This mission trip helped us learn a lot of valuable lessons about mission work. We learned that in order to have a strong impact, it's important to learn the native language. I felt that this was one of our shortcomings because we could have done even more to learn Japanese. Language and communication is one of the big obstacles that could help us break the cultural barriers because they would feel more comfortable speaking with us. So I feel that it is very important for future missions. Also, this mission gave us experience and knowledge that could help future mission trips. We were able to see the challenges of missions, and we learned that it's very hard work. It can get you down and be very discouraging, but God helped us get through it. The best example to follow would be that of Apostle Paul, because he became like the people he was evangelizing to appeal to their insecurities towards foreigners. I thank God for giving us this opportunity to see and understand more of His creation. I thank the UBF community for being so supportive financially and in their prayers. I thank Brother Alex, Hina, and Valeria for helping us with strategies to overcome the cultural barriers. And I thank God for the Sendai ministry for offering us their hospitality for a whole month.
First off, I want to tell you that I'm exceptionally grateful for Missionary Paul's family. They offered us their hospitality, love, care, kindness, and they were very patient with us because of the fact that there was a serious language barrier between us. We had some bumps along the way and have had to undergo some troubles which arose displeasures and setbacks in our journey. However, I feel that God was able to train our hearts to persist, and He illustrated through meaningful relationships and English teaching that God wants me and Johnny to keep reaching out to God's children and also inspire future short-term missionaries. I say this because we made two really good friends who we taught English, and I feel like we broke walls of despair or indifference because they opened up to us along the way. I also say this because Japanese people wear masks to hide their emotions, and they live in a culture that encourages them to have a conformist behavior instead of being taught to be yourself like us. This is why I must say with conviction that God is leading the way for new generations to step into the world that He created and break as many walls of enclosure or whatever it may be.